Welcome to a live episode of the Stampede, a weekly show bringing you everything you need to know about your Gillette Mustangs. We are located on the Shady Sports Network, and tonight we have an arena/indoor football legend, a former Arena Bowl MVP, Arena Bowl champion, and your offensive coordinator of the Mustangs, Reggie Gray. Coach Gray, welcome to the show, and thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Coach, we're just 3 days away from kicking off the 2023 campaign in Kansas at the Storm. How's the energy feeling around the team heading into the road trip?
It's anxious. We've been going against each other, all of camp, first week in practice, and I think the guys are ready to see a different jersey out there. But they definitely understand that things are not going to be easy, and I think everybody's just anxious to get to it.
For sure. When do you guys actually hit the road?
I believe Friday.
Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, you've achieved so much as a player in this sport. What drives you to continue to compete at this level?
It's trying to find that excitement again. After pretty much semi-retiring, there's nothing like the game of football. We out there catching the ball, scoring touchdowns. So I wanted to find that something that brought somewhat half of the excitement that playing the game was. So after taking some time off, being with family, I jumped back into the coaching realm. And last year when I got promoted to offensive coordinator with the Mass Pirates, I finally got that sense of excitement that I was looking for. Just being a regular receiver coach, you don't get it as much because the pressure is not on you on game day. It's pretty much on the head coach and the coordinators. But once I got promoted, it seemed like it was such a different feeling because it was like you're nervous that you do well. If the play works, you get excited. If it don't work, you beat yourself up about it. Kind of similar to a player. So that's when I realized, okay, this is something that I want to do. So I continued on with the coaching.
Nice. What was it about Coach Walker and the Gillette Mustangs that made you want to coach here?
Oh, well, I was with Coach Walker back in 14 and 15 and won a championship with him. So I know he's been around coaching for a very long time on a high level, and he knows the game, whether it's arena or indoor ball. And it was an opportunity, we've been in contact over the years, of course. And, it was an opportunity that, to come and be the OC out here and assistant head coach. And after talking over with my family, I was like, you know what? I trust Coach Walker. He comes from programs that had a lot of success, so I know he knows how to win. When you start winning, you want to continue to win. So I wanted to be a part of a winning program. He was kind of resetting everything here, in which it was pretty much, I don't want to say starting from scratch, but it was rebirthing the Gillette Mustangs, as you can see by the name change.
Yeah. Have you been watching any of the XFL at
all? To be honest, no, I haven't caught a game yet. I keep up with a couple guys through social media. People are always commenting on guys doing well. That coach that played for me last year, old teammates, guys I played against. I having some success. So I pretty much keep up with it on social media, but I actually haven't had time to sit down and actually catch a game. One thing. I say that again.
I said you've been working.
Yeah, that's one thing that coming on and being the OC, assistant head coach, is a lot of work, especially when it's a situation now where I'm able to implement my entire offense. Last year, I took over for an offense and kind of tried to maneuver it the best way I can. Now, to be able to implement your entire offense the way you want it ran, and and things like that, scouting, watching film, breaking down the other team. It's just been pretty busy, to say the least.
For sure. The reason why I was bringing up the XFL is because a couple of the games that they created some new rule changes. I don't know if you were able to catch it or know of any of the rule changes, but one of the rule changes in particular is at the end of the game, if you're trailing or tied, instead of kicking off, you can go for it. I believe like on the 20-yard line, 4th and 15 style. And if you convert the 4th and 15, you get the ball back. And a couple games came down to that where teams were able to come back for, if it was an NFL game that late in the game, they would have been dead in the water. But they were able to come back based on these new rule changes. And I know that the CIF announced new rule changes after the point after a touchdown is scored. And I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on that? And since you're the OC, are you guys going to be kind of aggressive, or are you guys going to be looking to kick?
Well, I don't want to let out too much information when it comes to that. But I do believe that, those rules, is built to make the game a little bit more exciting. And I'm all in favor of that. And I'm all in favor of extra points when you can get them. It allows, a lot of teams that, it either allows even higher blowouts or less blowouts, because you can get back in the game. If you're down 9 points, you can get back in the game. It's technically still a one possession game. So I mean that brings a lot of excitement. It brings a lot of different strategies that's going to come to the table, and I think it's good for the game. The fans like to see scoring, even if it's a 3-point conversion, 4-point conversion. Fans like to see scoring. And so I think it's good for the game, and trust me, it's not as simple as it may seem. It's not easy scoring, from the 5-yard line and the 10-yard line, especially around the end zones. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see how the new rules play out and how different teams try to attack it. As far as us, it's a wait and see approach.
For sure. I kind of knew you were going to play. I kind of figured you would play the question that way. But
yeah. I mean,
understandable.
We don't know who may watch this, and
right. We don't want to give away
not
too
really
much.
trying to put anything out there.
Yes, sir.
But I know it does make the game a little more exciting.
Definitely. Arena Football Statement recently ranked all 8 teams heading into the season, and they got you guys ranked 6th. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that ranking.
I mean, it is what it is, preseason ranking. I mean, based on last year, I guess that's what they're basing it on. But, as a preseason ranking, I take it like a grain of salt. I actually didn't even know about it. To be honest, really don't even care about it. My focus is on game 1 and trying to be 1-0. All I care about is the rankings at the end of the year. If we holding the trophy or if we going home, that's the only thing that matters. Preseason, I mean, and all it is opinion, and everybody's entitled to it. They really don't know what we have here. And I get it. And it's definitely understandable. I don't really take it as disrespect because it's an opinion of not knowing something. So even knowing now, ranked 6, I don't even want to know who ranked 1 through 7, 1 through 5 is. I don't even care, to be honest. As you know, game in and game out, I'm gonna treat every opponent as if they're the number 1 team in the league, and I'm trying to beat the number 1 team in the league. Regardless, even if we climb up to be number 1 at some point, we still gonna take it as if we the underdogs, and we're gonna take it one game at a time. So,
speaking of scoring points, we have a new segment on the show called the 4-point play. Okay. Coach, are you ready?
Yeah, I can try to be.
Favorite NFL coach?
Ooh, I would say Mike Tomlin.
Favorite NFL team?
Oh, Chicago Bears. I'm hometown everything.
Your favorite NFL player?
Currently, favorite NFL player. Sheesh, that's a tough one. But I would probably have to go with ew, favorite NFL player. I got past good players that I love, but right now I would probably have to go with Devontae Adams. I think he's the
Okay,
best receiver in the league.
sure. Your favorite place to visit?
Vegas.
Vegas. All right. Thank you, Coach, for participating in the 4 Point Play segment. Fans, please submit your questions for future segments in the comments below. Coach, you look great. You look like you could still get a step on these boys. Do you have the urge to play, or are you happy coaching?
I'm happy coaching right now. Last year, when I was coaching, I was getting myself right to make a return at the end of the season, play a couple games. I actually got a couple clips of practice of me, doing my thing. And the only problem with it is, I may hold up for a game or two, but after that, the body lets you know what it is. Last time I played was 2021. I went out there in Carolina and played 2 games. Body felt great before the game. As the game after warm-ups, my body was hurting. And at that point, I realized, yeah, it's about that time. I still got it now. It's not. I mean, I can get out there and route the best of them up, but it's just more the body. The body sometimes say no, but I would never say never. Right now, I'm focused on the Mustangs, but after June, championship is June 17th, June 15th, something around that.
Mhm.
After that, you never know. I'm definitely going to keep myself in shape. One thing I've always wanted to do, I have a 2-year-old son, and I kind of wanted him to actually see me on the field, and he hasn't been able to. So, it could be a last hurrah in the books, but nothing is taking place till after this championship season.
When we as fans are watching football on TV, we often hear quarterbacks calling out a certain linebacker or defensive back. Walk us through what that's all about, and what are the things are quarterbacks looking at pre-snap?
In this game here, quarterbacks they have to have. I tell them all the time they have to have 3 different reads. They have to have a pre-snap read. They have to have a motion read, and then they also have to have a post-snap read. In that pre-snap read, you're pretty much, um, looking at, as you say, the Mac backer, seeing where he is, what's his number, seeing what stance he's in. Then you're also looking at the secondary based on formation, what they could be in. Then you take the motion read. The motion read pretty much lets you know what they're trying to get to, or if they're going to stay in whatever they look like they're in. Because when you go in motion, the 2 guys in motion, at some point in time, whoever got to get deep, they got to start backing up. Um, so that's a motion read, and then you got the post snap read, which at that point, typically like any game, you basically want to confirm what you thought they were in with the pre snap and the motion read, um, and then continue on with the play. So I mean, they're checking out everything from who got the flats, who got deep thirds, who got deep halves. Is it man to man? So there's a lot that goes with it, in which quarterbacks that have success, they're able to digest it all very quickly.
Was coaching after playing always the plan, or did that opportunity just kind of present itself?
It was always kind of the plan, but I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to do it, because I dedicate my life to football. Um, at that point, 30. I mean, I'm 38 now, about to be 39. So you can say I dedicated 38 years, of playing the game I love, basically putting my all into it year in and year out. Once COVID kind of shut down the 2020 season, it put a lot of things into perspective. Whereas that was the first year I was technically without football for an entire year. And, it started to think like life after football in general, not coaching and everything. And so then with my family, I just started to think about, maybe it's time to dedicate more time to family, because football is very strenuous on relationships, strenuous on time you got to spend with your family, because you're gone all the time if they're not with you. So it pretty much came into a perspective as if, okay, is this what I really wanted to do um, for the rest of my life? Or do I want to, I always felt like I couldn't go back and do a 9 to 5, only because football has programmed me for so many different type of hours, and things like that. And I didn't know how I react to it, this late, at the end of my career. Um, but I wanted to start some businesses, so I was able to start a couple of businesses, and but then you get that itch, you get that, okay, I need some type of excitement, and so I was like, you know what, opportunities start to present themselves, and I'm like, let me just go for it. And like I said, at first, just being a receivers coach, because I was a receiver coach at a college, for arena teams, it just wasn't bringing the same excitement that I thought. So I really contemplated stepping away. Once I got that opportunity to be offensive coordinator, I realized that was next. That was next. And
What's the
so
biggest
therefore,
satisfaction you've gotten out of coaching so far?
the biggest satisfaction is I guess it's a mixture of a couple things. Seeing guys get promoted to the next level. I'm pretty excited for guys because I was in their shoes trying to work my way up. So seeing that, and then on the flip side of things is winning, being able to scheme up a game and seeing it executed and winning those games. When you put in the work to kind of put what your thoughts on paper and have a vision and to see your vision, what you thought could happen actually happen, it makes you feel really good. The fact that, it kind of make you feel like you know what you're doing. So that is definitely up there.
What's more important, technique or pure physical ability?
Mm, I would say technique only because it's details. Um, Technique comes with doing something in detailed form, and I think the game of arena football is all about little details that you have to do to be successful. Because if you think about it, as I got older, the physical as far as my speed, quickness, strength, stuff like that started to go away. But I was able to pay attention to the details of angles, you know, route running as far as leverages and stuff like that. And that allowed me to continue longer than probably people expected, because you can see a lot of guys that have the physical tools, big, fast, strong, but don't know the nuance of the game. And it doesn't matter. They're getting cut. Uh, so definitely the technique, because it requires a lot of detail to knowing the game of arena football.
What
Indoor
kind of
football.
offense can we, the fans, expect out of the Mustangs this year?
Um, I would like to say balance, but for me, it all depends on what teams give us. I expect us to be a high scoring offense, but I also expect us to be a smart offense. I pretty much, a lot of even my friends even make jokes saying, "Oh, I bet y'all not gonna run the ball at all. You're a receiver. I know you want to air it out." And
Yeah.
trust me, I do. But as offensive coordinator is looking at the bigger picture. You know, it's hard to kind of pass the ball when you got 3-on-5. Your three guys against five of their guys. It's not a lot of openings. So it's pretty much taking what the defense gives us. One game it may be air apparel. The next game it may be grind the pound, grind the pound. So it's pretty much whatever the defense gives us, and we're going to try to exploit it. But I know the object of the game is to score points and stop them from scoring points. So I know my expectations is us to get out there and try to put up as many points as possible.
Fantastic. Hey, during the game, I see coaches actually on the field with the team. Tell us why you're on the field as opposed to like up in a box or off on the sideline. And who are you talking to in the headset?
In the headset is the coaches communicating, communicating different things. You know, from an offensive perspective, you know, calling the plays. You know, it's a lot that I have to come up with. I have to know down and distance, where we are on the field, all type of things. So the coaches in the headset pretty much helps, you know, each other out with things like that. Questions we may have. If the head coach wants to, you know, challenge something or want me to ask the official something, you know, the headset's basic communication. Since the field is the way it is, and we don't have a system of communicating with the quarterbacks through a headset, they pretty much come over there and we're basically giving them the plays. But we're not allowed to pass, I believe, the numbers. So pretty much we're behind the play, on the side, outside the numbers, and just there pretty much to communicate with the quarterbacks and the officials if we need to. Yeah, so pretty much that's what it is.
Well, Coach, man, I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you coming on the show tonight. I wish the Mustangs the best of luck traveling into Kansas. Travel safe. Is there anyone you would like to say hello to or give a shout out to?
I mean, pretty much, you know, the Gillette fans, you know, the Gillette town. I thank them for having me. I thank our owner, Steve, you know, for allowing Coach Walker to bring me in, Coach Walker, the entire coaching staff, players, I shout out everyone. You know, of course, I say my mom, you know, my girl, my babies, you know, all that. But, you know, I'm pretty much focused on making Gillette a championship town.
I love it. Thanks again, Coach. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Stampede on the Shady Sports Network. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel because with every new subscription, the voice and spotlight on these players and coaches gets louder and brighter. Until next time, have a fantastic week.